Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 5:30.
In the next half hour, we're going to go to a scout camp, also the state fair, and we're going to find ways to save your lawn.
But leading our news at 5:30, one of those stories that makes you quiver. Look out for worms in your chocolate. At least 2 Central Ohioans have found them in their chocolate bars. Now, it has nothing to do with our area. Bug experts tell us today that tiny little moths love nuts and chocolate. And more often than you think, they get into chocolate bars that you buy in a machine or at the grocery store, and they lay eggs. To ward off the worms, make sure you check the expiration date on your candy and keep it refrigerated if you can.
Well, it's back to the drawing board for school officials in Westerville, Pickerington, and Newark. School issues failed last night in all 3 districts. They're really wringing their hands over in Westerville, where school leaders say 3 brand-new schools will have to sit empty as a result of the levee failure.
The state health department today is worried about what the heat wave is doing to nursing home residents. An elderly resident of a Parma nursing home died from the heat recently. And as Jerry Revish reports for us, the department's come up with a new rule to keep it from happening again.
Excessive heat and humidity to continue through Thursday.
I can't take the heat.
Near record high, 95 to 100.
It's just ridiculous. It's miserable.
The older you get, the harder it gets to handle heat waves. Doctors across the state are being told to pay closer attention to their patients who live in nursing homes.
You try to drink what water you can, you know you're going to get that taken care of so you can swallow better again. And their blood pressure might tend to go down, especially when they're in an upright position. So we look for that.
Whenever residents are in a room where the temperature exceeds 80 degrees, the state health department wants the home to call in a doctor to check on those who suffer from breathing problems, heart disease, or kidney trouble. The law is drawing mixed reaction.
It's going to be difficult for a doctor or a medical director of a nursing home to basically live here and monitor the condition of his residents every day.
It is not unusual for a physician to have 100 clients who live in nursing homes.
If you stick to the letter of the law on these things, it's really an impossible requirement. It simply can't be done in the real world.
You all have to take it.
Yeah. Most operators rely on lower lighting and portable fans to cool things down. Air conditioning may make things easier, but even it has some drawbacks.
As we go through, you'll notice that there are patients who have shawls on, will have like 2 sweaters on, a lap robe.
Although the new state law is designed to protect old people from heat stress, only a fraction of them live in nursing homes. The majority live by themselves or with family or in low-income housing projects, and there is little on the books that covers them. Sherry Revish, Eyewitness News.
I had no idea that some nursing homes did not have air conditioning. I just assumed for the older people that they did.
They would be, yeah.
Well, how do you feel about casino gambling in Ohio? A group trying to bring casinos to the Buckeye State hopes we'll be voting on a casino issue next year. Now, last night, voters over in Detroit rejected a plan that would have brought casinos to the Motor City. And tonight, Brian Eichard, who is spearheading the effort to bring casinos here to Ohio, is thrilled. Eichard says Detroit casinos would have taken away potential business from Ohio. Eichard says the Detroit rejection has rejuvenated a petition drive to get a casino gambling issue on the 1989 ballot in Ohio. Well, the Chinese pandas on loan to the Toledo Zoo could be your only opportunity to see pandas of this kind. The Chinese have declared a moratorium on sending breeding-age pandas to the United States. The animals are endangered species, and the Chinese, as well as American wildlife conservationists, think saving the breed is more important than giving us something to gawk at.
We can't imagine loaning a California condor or a black-footed ferret or any of these other animals that are right down to the wire on extinction. We'd never lend them out for a commercial exhibit where there was possible interruption with their breeding. That has happened with the giant pandas, and I think we're seeing it coming to an end now.
Now, Columbus is in line to have giant pandas at our zoo, and we'll still probably get some of them, but they won't be breeding pandas. Jack Hanna has said that's okay with him, and most zoos agree that saving the species is the first priority.
Elby's restaurants are an endangered species. At least the name is, anyway. Elby's is going back to the future in a way. They'll be called Big Boy restaurants again. LB's dropped out of the big boy chain, you'll recall, in 1984. But over the next few months, the 75 LB's will become big boys once again. LB's chief executive officer says, though, the restaurants will stay the same with similar menu items. Only the names will be changed. And you'll probably see those big boy statues out front of those restaurants again. And those statues are going to have to stand out in some very hot weather if they do it anytime soon. I was outside today at a Boy Scout camp, which we'll tell you about a little later, and it was really hot today. We're going to ask Joe Holbrook how hot it might have been. Joe?
Well, how hot you were this afternoon was probably about 106 as far as the heat stress is concerned, and that's
I don't know
about
if
the
I
same.
want to hear that.
That's right. That's just about the same as it is right now. We have something else building up in the heat and humidity as well. In fact, let's take a look at the 10TV Doppler radar. We were looking at a pretty good thunderstorm which had developed out just to the west of Columbus. You can see it there just west of West Jefferson on up toward Plain City, and somebody says, hey, why don't you know about those things? Once you get a towering cloud like that, they can build up in about 15 minutes. And there it is. Those of you who live out in that direction can watch out for that thunderstorm. And temperatures, well, 92 degrees at 5:30. The heat index, 106 degrees, still uncomfortable. At 8 o'clock, dropping down to about 89 degrees. At 11, 85 degrees. The weather tonight, mostly clear but hazy, hot and humid, with one exception, a chance of a thunderstorm, and you saw where it was located at this time. Bob Grossi is going to be keeping a careful eye on those thunderstorms. He's going to have a full report for you at 6 o'clock tonight. I'll also be back with another story about yard care and a special guest a little bit later, too, Chuck.
All right. Thanks, Joe. One of those storms popped up last night on the way home, almost 6 o'clock.
It poured on us on the way home.
Some hail and everything. Yeah.
Right. Well, taking a look at traffic as folks are heading home tonight, there is one big tie-up to report, 71 southbound. There you see it on the map. There are 4 accidents stretching from 11th to Spring Street, so that is the worst place if you're expecting somebody home tonight.
All on the same highway. Well, we are just a day away from the beginning of the 1988 Ohio State Fair.
And Barry Pintar is with us tonight with some tips on how to enjoy this year's fair. Barry?
Excitement fills the air out here. Bright colors everywhere. Look at bright banners, bright, bizarre color T-shirt. I even have a red mic cable for the occasion. Last year, almost 3.5 million passed through those very gates right there. You can see the word Ohio there. That's how you get into the state fair. Looking at the other top 5, Texas had almost 2.5 million, followed by Canada's version of their state fair. Then Oklahoma, no, it was Oklahoma, and then Minnesota. They're hoping for even higher numbers this year. We're going to tell you about that by way of new attractions that they've never had before that may want to make folks come out and even topple those numbers of last year here at the Ohio State Fair. We'll preview those attractions.
Are you sweating? I'm sure you're just steaming out there.
Well, you know, it looks like it's hot. It's been hot all week, but it looks like we're about to get storm here. There's a rain, something or other coming through, so it's cooled off a little bit, so not too bad.
The rain will cool them off, too. Thanks,
we'll get
Barry.
back to you.
Okay.
Well, ask any parent. Kids just seem to be growing up faster than ever these days.
But at least one rite of childhood is as strong as ever.
Up next, our 5:30 focus looks at scouting in Central Ohio. Stay with us.
Get into Z-Bart during our 25th anniversary sale. Save $50 on new or used car rust protection and Z-Bart paint protection from $144.95. Sale ends August 31st. Check the white pages for the Z-Bart Center near you.
The new Super Lotto jackpot is $3 million. And yes, we know that some of you just aren't going to play for a mere $3 million. Please reconsider. Play that Super Lotto number, if not for yourself, for all the little people in Ohio. Your banker, the stockbroker down the street, your travel agent, the local Ferrari dealer. Play for the $3 million, but don't do it for yourself. Do it for them.
Hey, Vern, you spend more time fixing this old heap than you do driving it. Why don't you let Buckeye Nissan put you behind the wheel of a brand new or used car? Because, Vern, at Buckeye Nissan, the customer is always #1. Well, there's your problem right there, Vern. See that little wire right there next to that catastrophic converter? Looks like it's got a little board in it. You ought to trade this whole heap in at Buckeye Nissan, Vern. Know what I mean? Oh.
Now, new shrimp.
Great shrimp.
Long John Silver shrimp. 2, 4, 6, 8.
The price is right. The shrimp is great.
10, 11, 12, 13 grade shrimp.
For $3.99.
13 Long John Silver is great shrimp.
It's new.
It is boom time for the Boy Scouts here in Central Ohio. To give you an idea of the resurgence of the Boy Scouts in Central Ohio, here are some numbers. In 1983, there were 15,506 members in the Central Ohio Council. 5 years later, there are now 23,866 members. So more than 8,000 more Central Ohio boys have joined in just the last 5 years. And today, for our 5:30 focus, we went to the Levesque Scout Reservation near Lancaster to find out why scouting is so popular. Here's the answer.
Meet a lot of people, get some good skills, and have fun while you're doing it.
Greg Strominger is 16. He's from Lancaster. This tent at the Levesque Scout Reservation is his home for a week. Greg and the other scouts here will tie a lot of knots this week, build a lot of campfires,
Time out! Eric, do both arms, do the other.
practice life-saving skills, test their aim on the archery range, and on the rifle range. But there is a lot more going on here. Dan Bauer is Outdoor Program Director.
For a lot of people, it fills a void. For one, you want to be part of a group, you want to learn how to belong, and basically the sales pitch is that it's fun.
These scouts are between 11 and 18 years old. Some of them have been to camp before. This is Greg's 4th time, and he is sold on it.
Well, we have a good camping program, and it teaches scouting leadership, and it also teaches them skills that they can use when they grow up.
The scouts here at the camp do a lot of their own cooking, and they've just finished cooking lunch. What's for lunch, David?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. Let's taste. That's pretty good. Macaroni and cheese, the main course. What's for dessert?
Chocolate chip cookies.
On a silver platter, chocolate chip cookies in a nice little bag. I don't think they cook the chocolate chip cookies. They're good. They do most of their own cooking except the chocolate chip cookies. The idea at this camp is to make the week that the scouts spend here a positive experience.
A lot of times they come here and they're a little bit scared. They don't know what to expect. They haven't camped this long for a whole week away from home. And at the end of the week, they've just grown up. They've become comfortable with everybody. And they'll come up to you at the end of the week and shake your hand and say, thanks, I've had a real good time. Even give you a hug or something like that. And that's what makes it worth it.
You make a lot of friends here?
Yeah.
You going to come back again?
Yeah, I look forward to coming here every year.
We haven't forgotten about the Girl Scouts. The Central Ohio Girl Scout Council covers 16 counties and has more than 15,000 members. Donna Hughes at the Girl Scout Council told us today they now admit 5-year-olds and says Girl Scouts can remain in their organization until they're 17.
And while we're talking about Girl Scouts, the organization has really updated its program since I was a member a couple years back. Girl Scouts now learn about contemporary issues like fighting drug and sexual abuse. Hughes says the Girl Scouts are preparing the girls of the 80s to be women of the 90s. And as she likes to say, the first woman president will have been a former Girl Scout. You looked hot by that fire.
Sitting in front of the campfire, oh, let me tell you, it was really, really hot. But had a lot of fun. Some nice guys out there.
Good.
Another important part of growing up, enjoying the state fair.
Next, Barry takes us on a preview tour of this year's fair the night before the big opening.
The heat is on during the Nationwide Auto Parts 2-week summer sale. Our value-packed summer sale catalog is full of big savings on the top quality parts you need to take care of your car. 10W30 and 10W40 motor oil, Castrol 89 cents, Valvoline 69 cents, Haviland, Kendall, and Pennzoil just 59 cents a quart. Just check your mailbox or newspaper for your summer sale catalog or stop by your nearest Nationwide store and pick one up for the biggest auto parts savings of the summer at the Nationwide Summer Sale.
I'm Bucky Denton. Here's this week's Bucky's Bunch winners. Come on and join us. Let's go! Sign up at Kroger for free membership card. You could even win a chance to be on TV with me. There's still time to join.
Save on Picnic Perfect Cons Meat Wieners, just $1.49 for the 1-pound package. And Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice is only $2.49 for the 64-ounce carton.
Joe's weather forecast is unwelcome news to the Ohio State Fair organizers. Fair officials say the heat has kept people away the last couple of years, and this year is stacking up to be a real scorcher. In fact, the folks at the fair say there are plenty of places to relax and cool off when you get to the fairgrounds. And tomorrow at 5:30, Christy Perry will help us enjoy a cool and healthy visit to the fair in her health report.
But as for tonight at 5:30, Barry Pintar is at the fairgrounds to give us a preview of all the things to do out at the fair.
Barry, is this your first visit to the fair?
The first ever, and I'll tell you what, I love it. I'm so excited for these next couple of weeks to start. In the meantime, while you two are sitting in your air-conditioned set in our studio, I'm actually standing on a set right now here at the Ohio Fairgrounds at the 10 TV Pavilion. Of course, Jane, you'll be here with Dave Kaler. We'll have the new news here every day during the state. You're looking forward to it, I'll bet, aren't you?
It should be really fun. I've never seen that big a picture, though.
It's going to be a blast. I'm actually jealous. I'm enjoying this right now. Not a lot of people around, but you can see a lot of activity going on with people setting up here at the 10 TV Pavilion. And as you look out there, there are people everywhere getting ready for this fair. There are going to be 69,000 exhibits here. But I'll tell you what, a lot of those exhibits have never been here before. So today, we took a look at some of the first evers at the Ohio State Fair. The shading of a large tree provides relief from the scorching sun for the Ohio State Fair Band. For the 300 band members from all over Ohio, this is the last chance for fine-tuning before tomorrow's big opening. Floats and a lot more will join the band for a first-ever Ohio State Fair parade.
The most difficult part of the parade, you can have a lot of bands and a lot of special units, but the floats are basically the heart of the parade.
Cold, hard cash wraps up last-minute details for decorations for the floats that will turn these into these. Chip, chip, tap, tap turns 1,000 tons of sand into a 13th century Bavarian castle replica that's 30 feet high.
They love the castles the best. Out of all the things we do, this is the most fantasy and brings out the kid in every adult and makes every kid dream of what he's going to have when he's older.
You can fantasize you're in Disneyland. The completed castle will look a lot like Mickey Mouse's Disney Castle. Another major first-ever attraction this year, this fair will host the largest ever national llama show east of the Mississippi. Now, Harry Beast has the inside information on that story. Excuse me, Mr. Beast, what can you tell me about this competition?
I can win up to $2,500, that's what I can tell you.
And how do you win the money?
Well, I compete with llamas from around the country in halter, costume, and obstacle courses.
Llamas are surrounded by endless last-minute preparations for tomorrow's big opening day. And, of course, the excitement of the entertainment lineup, which, if you haven't heard, includes the Beach Boys, Chicago, REO Speedwagon, the Judds, Kool and the Gang, Sandy Patty, Kenny Loggins, the Oak Ridge Boys, and a lot more. Okay, now, some other firsts that I didn't get a chance to mention for you. We have the Chinese acrobats that will be here. There will be a truck rodeo, and there will also be the National Skateboard Regional Championships held here. Now, if you look way over there above that little thing you jump up and down on, you can see them working on that castle that's going to look like the one just at Disneyland. That is too exciting. I can't wait to see that. Now, as we said, the fair opens tomorrow. It runs August 4th through the 21st. $5 will get you in. Parking is $2. But if you don't want to drive out here and deal with the hassle of the crowds, and I understand parking is a bear. This isn't my first, but the reputation precedes. You can take the Coda bus system. Just give them a buzz, and they'll tell you about all the schedules they have running out here. I'll tell you what, Chuck and Jane, I am genuinely excited about all this. The top-line entertainment they have here, all of the animals to see, the things to eat, the things to ride, and, of course, 10 TV has a big part here with our pavilion, and we're really excited.
And you don't even have to pay extra to hear that llama talk, right?
No, the llama will talk to you for free. As a matter of fact, I should say that for that $5, that includes everything. That includes all the rides you want to do, the 10 TV show, all the entertainment show, one flat fee. You can always come out and try to talk to a carousel horse, but I never have much luck with that.
Okay, thanks, Barry.
Okay.
Well, Joe Holbrook will be back with us in just a moment with his yard care report.
Tonight, Joe tries to save those bare spots on our lawns, struggling through our long, hot summer.
Stop!
star. The first one you've seen tonight, right? Sure. Light years up here. But hey, you can talk to me. I mean, I'm your lucky star. Stick with me and you could win big in the new instant lottery, Lucky Stars. Yeah, you and about 10 million other lucky stiffs. That's right. 10 million winning tickets are out there. So, hey, you want to wish upon a star, pal? Hey, go right ahead. Me, hey, I'd go for the cash. Yeah. So bright. Woo! Yeah!
Some of central Ohio got another pouring rain last night, while the rest of us were left high and dry.
But even if you didn't get that rain last night, chances are your lawn is mostly green and healthy.
Tonight in his yard care report, Joel Holbrook tells us how to take care of the parts that aren't so green. He means the brown spots.
It's amazing how fast our yards have changed from crisp brown to lush green. But there are severely damaged areas, high-use sections, slopes, and around curbs and sidewalks.
Will the grass come back in these damaged areas? Here's how you can tell.
Look very closely, and if there's the slightest sprig of green, the grass will likely recover. On the other hand, if there's absolutely no sign of green on the crown, the grass has gone to those great green fields in the sky.
What do we do about the dead spot?
Don't rake the dead spot. In fact, don't do anything. The experts say wait until fall, then rake and reseed. In the meantime, give the lawn a good soaking only if the sprinkling ban has been lifted in your area and there has been no rain for a few days.
It's best not to mow a dry or stressed lawn. But if you absolutely have to even it up, be sure the mower is set at its highest setting.
Remember the signs in the good old days, keep off the grass? That's a good idea. Footprints or wheel tracks can crush tiny new growth.
Okay, well, actually, my source for much of that story was Dr. Carl Danneberger, who was a turf specialist at Ohio State University. You know, we see all this. Should we panic? You know, should we get a different kind of grass? Or what do you think?
Well, I think, as you said in your story, a lot of the grass has come back, and it's no time to panic now. Really, in this hot weather, there's not a lot you can do. What I'd wait is to around the 1st of September, do the things that you've already mentioned, see if some of these areas come back, check for green tissue, and then...
Right here, for example, right down here now, we see a dead spot down here. Is that caused by the drought, or is that something else?
Actually, this spot here is caused by insect damage. If I reach down, you can see I can pull this grass up real easily, and the reason was there was an insect, actually back in June, that chewed off at the crown these plants.
Well, we're not going to lose our bluegrass then. We can still take care of bluegrass in the fall, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
This fall's critical. You know, you should be out fertilizing, watering this fall, if the water ban's lifted, and it should come back in pretty good shape.
Hey, that's good news. And you also said you had no idea how many people took care of their lawn because you've been inundated with phone calls. Is that right?
Yeah, I get two questions. One is, as we've discussed here, is this brown grass going to come back? Well, in a lot of instances it will. Matter of fact, where we pick this grass up, it's still green. And the second question is, why is my lawn brown and my neighbor's is green? Well, well, there's a lot of factors. Could be a different grass species. You may have shut off your water before the next person did, and you may have insect problems or head disease problems.
Okay, well, there you have it, Chuck and Jane. You know, the yard next door always looks better than yours. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah. Joe, what about shrubs?
Shrubs, well, shrubs should have been watered because there was no watering ban on that. And some of them will come back, but I would imagine some of them are in pretty bad shape.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Luckily, we got some of that rain last night.
We did.
That helped out a lot.
Dumped on.
We'll be right back with more Eyewitness News at 5:30 in just a moment.
Stay with us.
Service. We're Continental Office.
As we mentioned earlier, the Ohio State Fair begins tomorrow, and we will be there for the opening. Tomorrow night at 5:30, our focus will be on the importance of the Ohio State Fair to the city of Columbus.
And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, too, Christy Perry will be with us to help us enjoy the fair with some health tips on staying cool and feeling good.
That's all tomorrow at 5:30, but right now it's time for the 6 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News with Dana Tyler and Dave Kaler. Thanks for being with us.